Welcome back to the MBH podcast. Money buys happiness. We are on season 4.
Episode 2.
Who the fuck even thought we'd make it here? We're here anyways. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We'll get ready to
later, man.
Kane, what the fuck's going on?
What's up, bro? Life's been crazy. It's been a crazy year, man. It's been what, like 1 year since I came here?
Yeah.
For our first one?
I think so.
And we said, we're like, we'll get you back in the year. You know, let some shit progress.
Where everything's at. You know, it's been a crazy year, most definitely. But we're here back in the flesh.
Last thing has been like
yeah, man.
Well, no, we saw you in Tulum.
We did.
Had some fun.
We linked up in Tulum for a little bit.
We had some fun. It was good. It was good.
You should have seen us, fam.
Oh, bro.
We're going crazy.
It's all over IG. I saw it.
No, there was some shit that didn't make us, you know.
Yeah.
But no, man, we're happy to have you back. Obviously, you've been doing a lot of good shit.
Pleasure.
Obviously, we know the growth has been massive since the last time you were here. Obviously, anybody who follows you on IG follows your journey. You know, they see the progress, and that's it's a big piece of why I wanted to get you back. Obviously, we're the Money Buys Happiness podcast, and just from a business perspective, what you do is super impressive. So, before we go into all the crazy shit we might get into later on, I want to just talk about where you're at right now, what you're up to, because I know that earlier on it was all the PPE stuff, and that was really what kind of got you going. But like, just even me personally watching you on IG and whatnot, it was like you started getting into crypto and the stocks. You're hanging out with some big players, and some guys were doing some really cool shit in Miami. So maybe just get into that, because I'm just curious about kind of what that journey and how that started and the whole thing.
Yeah. So basically, PPE was going well last year when we spoke, and then eventually came December. We started the vending machine company already in the CN Tower and the malls around. But PPE started dying down, and my business partner and I, Giuliano, were like, "Yo, we need to get out of here." So it was either Tulum or Miami, and he was in a bad relationship, so we were like, we need to escape. So he told his girl, he was like, I'm going away for a weekend, and we ended up going to Miami for Art Basel weekend. Is it Basel or Basel?
Yeah, I think
Basel, whatever. So we went for a weekend, and it was my first time in Miami, so I was like, dude, we need to live here. 1 month passes by, and then we just found a house. We're like, okay, fuck it, let's just do it. Like I left everything back home. So Miami was definitely a fun journey. For sure. I look at it like a 7-8 month vacation, but we did work. Down there, we got into stocks heavily, crypto, and just more about like I growing up, I didn't know financial literacy. I wasn't raised in a rich family, so I learned a lot of financial literacy out there, equity, investing, especially because you can make as much money, but if you don't know how to invest it and maintain it and grow it, right? So we got into that in crypto. We started a new brand called Millionaire Orphanage, basically a collective of young individuals like us that basically linked up, and we're all living in a house, and this was like an orphanage. We had like millionaires sleeping on the floor. These guys were making like $1 million a day on crypto.
That's
and we're like, dude, this is an orphanage. And then we're like, what, a Millionaire Orphanage, right? So we created that brand, we grew it out a bit, and then started traveling a bit more. Things happened in Miami, we came back, so now I'm back home, focusing on a new company that I'm working with in data monetization within the crypto space. So we work with big companies, take those transactions and leverage it to create a new asset column for the company. And then we also do, off-market real estate now, like how I was last year. But now I started growing it a bit more because I took a break from it. And then obviously PPE is just on the side. It died down for a bit, but with Delta, it's been picking up a lot with the mask mandates all over. We're back at it again, basically.
So I want to talk about Miami a bit, just because you turned a weekend vacation into 7 months, which is fucking crazy. And I rate you for it because, especially at your age, it's not an easy thing to just pick up and leave your life behind. You got family, you got friends, and the whole thing, right? But I feel like you're kind of like a lone wolf. Like I feel like if there's only you can do it, you could do it,
right? Like the main reason why we decided not to come back was because I was getting comfortable here. We had the billboards, we had the press, we had the news. Everything was going well for me in the city, and I was getting known, and my name was buzzing around, and I was getting comfortable. And I realized that comfortability encourages complacency, and you don't grow. So we had to basically get out of here and start growing and put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation and moving to a whole new country. I mean, I moved out from my mom's house literally last year. So just being away from home that long and being in a whole new environment was definitely different. For sure. But it taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about family, because I missed my family so much. I missed Christmas and my birthday. Miami taught me a lot about that. But the networking was amazing. We had a crazy house on the beach. We had 3 houses in a row, you know, all with the decks and all beachfront. So like, you know, when one house would relax one night, the other house would be going crazy. Kind of no break. So I look at it as a long vacation, but
for sure,
we weren't really growing down there. We were maintaining because we're obviously partying.
And, for sure.
So I had to, you know, change the environment to be able to come back and hustle. So that's why I came back home, you know?
No, it makes sense. Yeah. And I think a lot of people who are watching you kind of want to maybe, and me too, kind of want to understand, like, what was that situation like in Miami in terms of, like, you're saying it was more of a maintain. So like obviously people saw you for like PPE at the beginning and then you started doing the crypto stuff and whatnot. So like, what was that world like? Because that's like a whole new world, right? The whole investing thing. And I know like you were fucking with that guy Junior. And I was seeing his account, man. Like dude's doing these crazy fucking numbers on crypto and shit, right, bro? Like shit.
I just send them to you all day. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, bro, these are like numbers that like people.
100%.
Like, bro, they're not even they're, like, you wouldn't even believe it's real, right? So like you actually kind of saw it firsthand. So I kind of want to understand like what that was like, waking up and seeing these guys are making like.
Well, it was life changing for me because you know my whole life I've been you know, supply and demand type of guy, sales type of guy. It's like you only eat when you go close something.
Yes.
But then I'm in Miami seeing guys eating every day off of passive income or arbitrage trading systems or just trading, day trading, whether it's futures and crypto or stocks, right? I saw, and especially with the AMC GME whole craze, I saw people making a lot of money.
For sure.
And even with the whole, you know, crypto thing, like the shit coins, if nobody knows what shit coins is, they're basically low market cap coins that are easily manipulated. So, you know, if you buy in early, you could do, you know, 500x on your money. So I saw like this one guy I know, my close friend, he put $1,500 into a coin named Yummy, and that turned to 6 million.
Jeez, we were in Yummy. Yo, that never happened.
I know. He was the third buyer. But so like just seeing this stuff really opened my eyes. So, you know, it was a lot of learning. I made good money. I lost good money as well. It's a process to learn.
It's part of the game,
But, you know, I'd rather spend my money on learning than just spend it, right?
Yeah.
How did Miami, I mean, we just came from Miami too. We were there for a couple of days, and it just gives us this whole new energy, yo. It's like, dude, you open your eyes to something new. It's like,
true.
Yo, I can do something like that. I can do this. I can live like this.
This is attainable. This is realistic for us.
You see people doing it. That's why, right? So how did that affect, I guess, your experience there? Did that just make you want to just stay there and keep networking? Did that change your experience? Did that say, like, you know what, I want to kind of maybe live here one day?
Yeah, it was life-changing for me because I always dreamed of everything that I lived there. I always wanted to live on a beach. I always wanted to live in a hot weather, palm trees, Latino women, money, clubs, foreign cars. It's literally the life you imagine as a rapper. Like all these things you see on TV, it was literally it. And we did it right by getting a big house with a bunch of guys and having 3 in a row and just doing it right. We bought a Sprinter van. My buddy Holiday bought a Sprinter van. So everywhere we go, we're rolling deep. We could bring 10, 15 girls at a time when we're going in between places and just like going crazy. Right?
The lifestyle was insane.
So it really opened my eyes to like, okay, this is what I could live, but now I need to learn how to, because mentally it's hard to grow there because you're just partying all the time. There's so many distractions. So it gave me preparation for the life I'm going to live. Learning how to maintain, learning how to like still party but wake up early in the morning and trade stocks for 9 a.m. right? It's things like that. But it also did, a big eye opener for me was again family, and that's why I came back because I couldn't be living like the way I was living with my mom still working.
Of course.
And so now you come back after being there that long, and now how do you look at Toronto now that you've seen Miami? Because I mean, like, it's different. A lot of people haven't been to Miami. That's why I'm saying this, right? And they don't really understand maybe the effects that it can have on you, right?
Aura of the place.
Because you come back here now and it's just like, well, this is how I felt personally. I was just like, yo, this is like, fuck, like, yo, like, this is in Miami.
So Toronto, it's amazing. We're still amazing. Of course. Drake, and it's a big small city, and small. When I say that, I mean like once you get to the top in terms of network, right? Once you know the people that there is to know in your industry and whatever, that's where we got. So now when I come back, it's like this is home. This always will be home. My family's here. This is where I grew. But it does not compare to Miami at all. Obviously. Just from the money, like the money standpoint, like the inflow of money, just being surrounded. So with me, like I like to surround myself with what I want. Right. And like here, there's some people with money, but when you go in Miami, every person you meet is a millionaire.
Of course.
So if I surround myself with millionaires, I will be next up. If I surround myself with bums, I will be next. And here it's just harder in Toronto. I find it's harder to find that successful group of people our age at least that are making way more than what we're making.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so when you're networking, for example, because Miami's huge for networking, we know that, right? There's people out there that say, oh, I want to build my network, I want to grow my network. So is it as easy as just saying, okay, I'm going to go to Miami with my boys, grab a mansion, and this? Or what were you doing? What were the steps you were taking?
Honestly,
saying, you know what, I got to make this count.
We went there with no network. We knew maybe 4 guys. So I guess, you could do it, but you just got to know how to bring the people in, right? So when you go to a new country or a new city and you have no standing network and you just got some money, what I would recommend to anyone, this is the secret sauce I'm letting y'all in here. If you want to go anywhere in North America and you want to build out, your network in a new city, you get the craziest house you could get. Okay, and it may be a lot.
That's the value.
We were spending like $40,000 a month on rent. People are like, dude, you guys are retarded. And I'm like, no, because of the ROI that I'm getting on my network is crazy. I brought 100 like we had an investor dinner. And everyone was from like the tech. There was like tech people. There was people in crypto, and these are people are all like, I'd say like 28 plus, right? And they were all multimillionaires. Some of them even billionaires. And we had this crazy dinner, and they came into our house and treated us with respect because it was our house, and they saw, okay, if these guys are living like this, they must be doing something, right? But if it was another way around and we went to someone else's house to meet these people that may have not taken us
the same way,
exactly. So
well, it's investing in yourself, right? And I think that you were even doing that before you left, like even with the marketing, with the marketing campaign, everything you were doing, right? It was investing in yourself to prove that legitimacy, which is the same kind of thing that you were doing with these mansions or something per se, right? So
but how many people are actually going to take that risk
No,
and
it's a
say,
risk.
I'm about to spend $40K a month? Whether it's split between 5 guys, 6 guys, whatever the case is.
But once you find your kind of recipe to get out there and get the exposure, you kind of know when it's worth it to do certain things.
It's the right move, and I know off camera we were kind of talking about it quickly, like, you grab that house and you start throwing these parties, and a lot of people will look and be like, "Oh, they're just throwing money away," but it's like, it's calculated.
It's
one connection can literally pay for the whole trip,
and I feel like since about over a year ago, whatever, when we started working together, that's one thing about you is I feel like you've always been pretty calculated in terms of like the way you spend your money. A lot of people might look from the outside and say, "Oh, this guy's just blowing his money," whatever. But it's like, nah, bro. There's reason behind it, right? You may not understand right now,
but you'll see it in the future.
But you'll see it in a year, right? And I think that people now looking back and saying, "Oh shit." He got that, the press came in, he got the billboards, he did all this stuff, he grabbed the big mansion in Miami, he spent the money,
And we maintained it. People thought it was like an Airbnb. That was the least. We lost our deposit on that. We lost money on that. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't no Airbnb 1 night, 2 night, and people were probably wondering, how the hell are they still there? It's because we made enough money to maintain.
Well, that's kind of why I want to bring that conversation, because I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to kind of explain how that all worked. Right? Because I think, look, at the end of the day, if anybody shows anything online, there's always people who are going to be like, oh, that's fake. Oh, that Lambo's rented. You know what I mean? So I think it's like a perfect
person who's never going to do it, though.
No, for sure. But it's kind of like an opportunity to be like, well, this is how we did it, right? And so in terms of maintaining, what was that through? Was that through stocks, crypto, and all that?
A big thing of it, like, we didn't close as many PPE deals down there. We closed a couple. Like I said, maintained.
Yeah.
But most of my income was from investing. Yeah. Right?
Hey, man.
And we make back our rent with investing, and there's also certain, like, a house pays itself off if you're smart, right? Correct. An asset will pay, like, for example, even if you buy a house to rent it out, it's the same thing. Like, we had people offering us $3,000, $4,000 USD for a night for a party.
Jeez. Sure.
So we did little things on the side that helped balance those costs, and it wasn't at the end of the trip when we do all the math, it wasn't even that much. Like, it was a lot, but it wasn't even as much as it would have been had we not been creative with what we did with the house.
Well, I rate that because that's also like the little behind the scenes things, like renting it out for a party for $3,000, $4,000, like that's a part of it.
We got jet skis out the back.
You know what I mean, straight up
4 jet skis.
But I rate that because it's just, again, that's a real life interpretation or a showing of like the hustle. If it took you guys to rent it out for a party or a video shoot or whatever,
that's what we're doing. Video
shoots,
not? Everything.
Why not, right? Like, so dude,
we would have done the same shit.
Bro, we would have done the same shit, bro. We would have done the same shit. And I rate that because I'm sure a lot of people want to understand, like, how do they maintain, right?
I have a question because I was wondering this while I was in Miami, and I was even telling this guy, I'm like, bro, how can you stay here and balance yourself. You know what I mean? Like, this is a serious question. I'm curious to know what you
100%.
think. And I was just like, I'm like under the assumption that it's just nearly impossible.
It's very hard.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're in our kind of industry as being an entrepreneur, and you have to kind of be out there. You have to be exposing yourself,
But
right?
at the same
only
time,
ways
you
to do it.
need your routines.
Yeah.
You need to wake up early.
You do,
You
right?
need
So
journey.
I want to know from you, for example, like, what do you think you need to implement in a routine or in yourself, into your character, to be able to have balance in somewhere like that, which is like literally the heaven of distractions.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
I
any
would,
minute you can get
I
distracted.
would definitely recommend, and this is what I did, was, morning routines.
Yeah.
That's what kept me on track. Writing in my journal, rereading my goals, rewriting my goals. I had my little hammock right by the water, and I'd go in my hammock every morning after the gym, and I'd go sit there for at least 10-15 minutes, just meditate, because it's easy to get carried away in the glitz and glam and the women in the cars and the alcohol and all that fun stuff. It's so easy to get lost, and I've seen lives get ruined from it. With me, I think a big thing is just reminding yourself who you are and that you're not there yet, because although that's another thing, I felt like I made it when I was there, but I didn't make it. I had to humble myself. Like, I felt like I made it. I was like, dude, this. I was like, my mom's still working. Always reminding myself, my mom's still working. I didn't make shit yet. You know what I mean? I don't own all these properties yet. I'm still renting this house. I don't own shit yet, and I'm not shit. And that's the biggest thing. Like, reminding yourself that you're not shit when you're in a position to believe that you're the shit.
I mean, like, fuck, like, you're in a mansion, you're partying in Miami.
It's hard to not feel like you're fucking at the top. Well, bro, we had this conversation last night, because I was saying off camera, we want to head back there and lock in a spot for ourselves and whatever. And we're like, okay, like, we need probably at least minimum like 2 weeks, right? So all our paperwork, everything's set up, right? Legal and all the everything with the real estates and whatnot. And then he's like, yeah, but we got to go there and like not go out at all for 2 weeks. And I just started laughing. I'm like, bro, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can go to Miami and not even go out once, whatever. But he's like, we got to try and do that just to like prove that it can be done.
Exactly.
Because, bro,
dude, it's so easy.
Because if every time we go, we know it's going to be like that, then...
And that's also the thing, like, staying there for a prolonged time also showed me that, like, partying will always be there.
Of course.
Like, it became normal to me. Like,
there was some nights,
there was some nights I was like, I don't care to go out. Even though on Snap everyone's going crazy and I see all these girls, all this shit. I was like, I don't care to go out because I live here now. Like, in my head, I was living there, right?
Yeah, of course.
We didn't plan to coming back. We actually didn't plan to. The only reason why we came back is because things got hot. Things got hot with the landowner and, mayor was calling and they thought we're running an illegal operation selling drugs and yada yada, because we have rappers pulling up. They all have guns. We have Lamborghinis outside, Rolls Royces. We have half naked girls walking from house
Miami
to house.
Beach, baby.
No, but this is the thing. We lived in a nice neighborhood, and right across from us there was a park, and there's always marijuana smoke going over there. We're getting complaints. We had people across the bay, like with binoculars, taking pictures of us with guns in the backyard, like just like because in America it's normal to have a gun on you. Like,
of course,
put it on this
especially
table
Florida.
right here. Exactly. So they thought we were running this whole illegal operation. They threatened us to raid all 3 houses, and like, if we would have got raided as Canadians, we wouldn't be able to get our visas. So we're like, okay, let's go. Like, this is God. This is the universe telling us it's time to get out. So that's when I went to Mexico for 2 months. The first month was straight detox. I lost because I gained some weight down there. So I started dieting and no alcohol, no weed, all that stuff. And then we went to Tulum for a month. That was still even really detox. Like, I only partied with you guys a couple times. And then, I came back home. But, if it wasn't, Mexico's what saved me in terms of growth. Because there was a moment where you plateau for a bit in life. We all plateau, but you have to catch yourself. It's guaranteed you will plateau or burn out one day. When we're high performance individuals, so you just always got to have things set in place to bring you back.
And just be able to recognize it.
Exactly.
But even going back to the distractions, now that I come back here, for example, things that would have distracted me before don't even distract me as much, because I'm like, yo, this is like low level shit. You know what I mean?
Because the partying, like, okay, like if you say clubbing and partying, for example, is a distraction. Well, go to Miami, come back, and you're like, bro, this is partying? You're like, yo, this is like a quiet Tuesday night.
We're on King Street, and there's like glass between our booth, 10 people in our booth, and you can't even walk over there.
There you go. So it's actually, I think, like, it's a lot easier to avoid distraction here once you've gone and seen what really goes on in the world in terms of partying.
How was it being there the whole time that things were going on the way they were here?
Oh, man. I was very angry.
Yeah.
Like for my people here.
Yeah.
I was very angry for my friends stuck here
I mean,
and my
we were
family.
linking up too.
We were all agreeing on the same points, and you know, it made me really open my eyes. Before America, let's just say I was very liberal.
Yeah.
And before the pandemic, I was liberal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you make some money, right? You go to America,
fucking capitalism,
got guns, you know, and you realize that like freedom is everything, right?
Yeah.
And for me, where I'm at in my life, I became, I guess you could say, I still have liberal traits, like I believe, you know.
But the term liberal has changed, I think, anyways.
It has.
I think it's changed since we spoke last.
I believe everyone should benefit and everyone should have necessary rights to certain things.
Of course.
But, you know, the whole, and we'll get into that after, but like the whole tax stuff and all this stuff just didn't make sense to me. And then going to America, you know, you hear, growing up in Canada, you watch the news and see America, you're like, dude, this place is crazy. Like, it sounds like hell. Like, it's scary.
They're losing their shit over there.
I'm like, dude, these guys are crazy. And then we go there and you meet these people and they're just normal people like us.
Yeah.
And you went at a time, too, where they were kind of like even bashing Florida because they're like, yo, those people there are fucked. What the fuck are they doing? This and that. So you were like with them at that point.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a good point. And I think that like, what would be cool for some people to hear is you were in Florida in like the thick of the pandemic.
Yes. The worst time.
According to the news, right? According to the media.
News, yeah.
So you were in Florida, aka the only place that never shut down the whole time in the thick of the pandemic. So yeah, how was it looking at Toronto and seeing you can't even go outside and breathe?
Compared to what they were saying about Florida,
it made me realize that once you turn off the TVs and turn off the news and you just enjoy your life and focus on yourself and meditation and being healthy and just live your life. Like if I'm going to die, in my eyes, obviously, and if I'm going to die from something, I'm going to die from it. If I'm going to die from COVID, I'm going to die from COVID. Does that mean be ignorant? No. In Miami, I was still being cautious. I'd always use hand sanitizer. You know, and one thing that really changed a lot for me was the mask thing in Miami because they don't care about that there.
Well, because you started off, I remember being in Miami and you were masked up all the time.
All the time. And then you start seeing me now wearing the mask. Right? And like, it
was part of the business too, I guess, right?
It was. At this point, I don't even care. They're still going to buy. They're still going to want.
Of course.
You know?
At the time, though. At the time.
So it opened my eyes, you know, because down there, they don't judge you. If you wear a mask, they don't judge you. If you wear a mask, they don't judge you. You know? So like it was more accepted down there, and it just opened my eyes, and I kind of just went along with the social norm down there. And then coming back here, like I barely wear a mask. You know, I'll wear a mask sometimes, but like I caught COVID already. I don't know if you guys have.
Probably.
But that's probably. I don't know about probably.
I was fine, and you know, I think everybody's experience to COVID, you know, changes the way they move about COVID and the way like in their everyday life, right? So I caught it, I was fine. All my friends caught it, they were fine. So to me, I wasn't scared anymore. It's like once you get over that fear, and that's what going to Miami did, because I was honestly scared. I was like, dude, what if I catch COVID? And honestly, the first month there, we had symptoms. Like, everyone is just like going about, and sick people are going out, I think. Like, you know, and it was just like, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. If you're scared, stay home. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't. And that's why I respected America. That's why I earned my respect. But I would never have kids there. Yeah.
Well, how come?
It's just there was a couple of things that happened in Miami that had to do with kids. That I saw in the news, and you know that like just like I don't want to have a kid here, just like kids getting kidnapped, like in the area that I'm in, and like pedophilia is huge down there.
Trafficking,
just
all
like
that
the racism and like the division down there, I feel is like really big. Like there's no denying, like America in my eyes is still like a screwed up country, but it's better for us young men.
But it's different because it's state by state too, right? Like
that's also very true.
You go to a next state and it's completely different. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, and obviously like the pandemic and COVID and all this shit really showed how like you cross a border of one state to the next and it's a completely different life.
Exactly.
And you know, with the division, there's so much division in terms of race there, in terms of sex there, in terms of obviously COVID and people's views on that. So I think like Florida though, like you said,
very open and cool and chill.
Well, that's and I think that's where a lot of the people who kind of think like us, their respect for Florida is it's just by choice.
Yes.
You wear a mask, you wear it. You don't, you don't. You know, you want to stay home, stay home. You don't, you don't. You want to open your business, you do. You don't, you don't.
And
right?
I believe,
And I think that's kind of where I agree. I think a lot of people came into this and said like, or you know, prior to the pandemic would say, "Oh, I'm a liberal."
Yeah.
But like Ernesto said,
the
term liberal has changed because it's become so extreme.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think people who actually are still like the old school liberal are still liberal, but they've been forced to say, well, actually, maybe I'm a little more conservative now just because the term has changed.
And just the amount of political things that have changed in this past year.
Political now.
Everything's political.
Everything. No, just everything with the sensitivity of anything.
Oh, it's crazy,
People being sensitive. We were raised in such a damn sensitive generation. People will cry over anything. They will cancel you over anything.
And I know that you use your platform too to express your opinion when you want, right? And I think that's a great thing. I think everyone should.
100%.
Bro, but it's cancel culture out there.
Yeah.
You're just getting canceled out here. Dean, how the fuck are we not canceled yet, bro?
We're canceled. We just don't give a shit.
No, so we actually spoke before we hopped on this, and we were just like, yo, you guys been getting hate, or like you guys been getting hate. And we're just like, yo, at the beginning, me and Sterla got a lot of backlash from not people we give a fuck about, but yo, it's just people, like, you know how it is. You get 100 compliments, you don't give a fuck. One person hates you, you're like, yo, what I do wrong?
You get cheated.
It's life.
So at the beginning, we were getting some hate, but as we continued to voice our opinion, more people began to side with us and just speak to us and say, yo, appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for posting.
So how has it been with you? Especially because, like, yo, it's legitimate. When you're talking about things, you're seeing it from a different perspective. You're in Florida, right? Where we're hearing about it and we're like, oh, like, yo, you ask my grandparents, like, yo, they're crazy people. They don't even know what they're doing, right? So you've seen it from that perspective, right? So it's just like, yo, like, what the fuck is really going on? And why is it so different? Why do you think it's so different from, first of all, from Florida to here, right? Is it just politics, or do you believe something else? And where do you think like Ontario is going to be in the future? Right? Because we're thinking about it all the time. We're just like, yo, I don't know if we're going to stay here, bro.
Same.
I'm serious, bro. It's like, it's good to come back, like you said, humble yourself, get to work, put your head down.
This is your home, right?
But at the same time, it's like, fuck, like,
if things keep going the way it's going at one point, we won't have a lot of
What do you really think is going to happen? And do you think there's going to end up being a big difference between, let's say, Canada and the different states that there are?
Yeah, I believe so. I think so. The reason what's so different about Canada and America is I think it's in Canada, we have free healthcare, we have like free school, right? And the government gives a lot, right? And at the end of the day, no matter what I say and how bad this thing gets, or how bad it may get in our eyes, we're still one of the best countries because we have clean water,
of course,
right? We have shelter, we have protection. Putting that out there now before people are like, so ungrateful.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm already ready.
We've all got that. We all got that.
But I think people, Canadian people are more obedient to the government because they believe in their government. American people, they're like conspiracy theorists, people view us, and they're a bit more woke because they don't believe in the government, they don't trust the government, right? And I think people here blindly trust the government, which is to each his own. But I always ask questions growing up and being in our generation. We're in that generation where, like, old school, there's a bunch of new things coming in, so when we're born into the new era of things, we could question the old school, right? But then there's the old school people that don't question it and just follow it blindly. So I think that's the big difference between Canada and America.
But that can get us into some trouble then.
Exactly. So, and then in terms of what I think of Ontario, I mean, at the end of the day, if we were to put ourselves in their positions, I understand the decisions that they're making at first. But closing down the businesses, morally wrong. The gyms, morally wrong. They brainwash everybody through media and negativity on media. COVID case number just at the side of the screen going up. Mentally, if you really take in what that does to you, it instills fear in you, right? And then you become depressed. And then, like, if you feed yourself negative content all day, you will become negative or sick. If you believe you are sick, like the power of the... So I read this book, it's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And, whatever you consume on a daily basis, if it gets deep enough in your subconscious mind, your body will then reflect the way your subconscious mind is feeling or whatever it's receiving, right? So I think that's a big part of it. And also another thing is like, we all know that natural medicine is a thing, right? Right.
Of course. Most of us,
right?
Of course.
So where is all the advocates and information or facilities or resources on how to improve your heart, how to improve your immune system? Why are they just only saying take this chemical, take this vaccine, but they're not telling you how to, to get enough sleep, to go to why did they close down the gyms if the gyms are the only reason why people stay healthy? If most people that are dying from COVID are either old or out of shape, and then you're taking away everything that keep people out of shape, what are you doing?
Of course.
Right? And then you're mentally ruining these people, like mentally, right? They're becoming depressed, anxiety, all these cases that we're seeing in terms of mental illnesses go up in a spike, and suicide and drug use all go up. All these things are happening, and the only solution to it is take this vaccine and wear this mask, right? And I question that because I know I eat my veggies, I eat my ginger, I eat my vitamin C, and that's why I believe that when I caught COVID, obviously I was lucky, but that's why I handled it so well. I didn't even have side effects.
I don't even think you were lucky, bro, because it's 99.9% survival, bro. Yeah. So it's like, I actually agree with everything you're saying, and the whole like, why aren't they pushing like organic health, regular health,
because that doesn't make money though.
And this is what obviously look. I think with COVID, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes, but I think one thing that it's pretty easy to see, and actually Dean's been preaching this since fucking day one, is when there's billions of dollars involved in something, there's always going to be corruption. Yeah, bias, corruption. There's always going to be that, right? So it's like, bro, people's morals are gone for $50K. You think people are going to lose their morals for $300 million?
Yeah, and me being in the PPE side of things.
Even better.
So this is another thing I want to touch on.
Please, bro.
Yeah. Listen, all these mandates and all these government grants and all this money that the government's giving out, I'm on the back end and I'm seeing these millionaires and billionaires laugh at this shit.
Yeah, of course.
And they're like, and they're laughing, rolling in trillions of dollars. Like the money I've never seen, and I probably would have never seen this type of money in my life, or this money transacted, or even on an invoice. This type of money that I'm looking at. I'm like, dude,
millions and billions.
Like, and you know, people have to realize that there's always monetary gains and political gains from all of these. You have to question, why is this? Why did the government make it this? Because there's monetary and political gains. At the end of the day, you want to control. At the end of the day, if you look at communist countries like China, you know, Cuba and stuff, or even back in the days in Germany with the Nazis and stuff, the only way to take over a population is to instill fear, right? Dehumanize the people. Like there's a bunch of things that are happening now that like people from that went through, you know, Auschwitz and all that stuff are saying this is the same type of stuff that was happening.
Modern day version.
Exactly. And separation. And now you can't go to church. You can't go mourn a family's death. If someone's dying in the hospital, they're dying alone. All these things like that are adding up. It seems shady being on the back end, making money. I am personally, you know, firsthand made this pandemic change my life in a good way because I chose for that to be right. But seeing the things that I've seen and hearing the things, like all these rich people that I've met throughout the pandemic all think that COVID is, I'm not speaking on my opinion, but that COVID is man-made and there's political gains coming and there's a great reset coming and they want to crash our dollar. That's why they're printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and we're in an asset bubble. Why do you think real estate in Canada is so expensive? Because it keeps going up because the government's controlling it. The whole supply and demand of the houses and all, it's a whole grand scheme of things. But you know, in my theory, in my eyes, I think we're going digital. I think we're converting to crypto because without cash, you eliminate corruption. Without cash, you eliminate tax evasion. With crypto, you could control all of that and see all that. And our dollar, day by day, is being worth less and less. So that's why they say buy gold. Gold is and silver is God's money. Crypto is the people's money because it's decentralized and you can't control you, right? And cash is the government's money, right? So all these people that save, RESP, all this stuff, I believe that we're going for a big crash in the next 5 to 10 years with the stock market, with real estate, worse than 2008 because of the money that we're printing. If you literally look at the map, like at the money we're printing compared to every other year, how are we going to pay back? Tax the rich more. They already tax us 50%. What are they going to do? Right? So in my theory, I think we're going fully digital, and I think the political gain from this pandemic was to gain control and to reset people. And how you reset people is change their lives for a year or two and take them away from family, create a new normal, as they say. You hear
They've been using the term anyways.
New normal. This is the new normal. They make you distance from your loved ones. They make you stay at home. They make you depend on the government. All this stuff, it's so you depend on the government and work for the government.
But guess what comes with that too? And now the same people don't want to go to work for that 20 an hour
what does
anymore.
That do to the economy, right?
Man, I've been talking to venue owners too. They're like, yo, I can't get my staff in.
Because they're already making $2,000 a month.
I can't even get my staff. So imagine like a 17-year-old now that's used to getting $2,000 a month.
That's a lot of money.
Well, bro, we were just saying, like, bro, like clubs that I would never imagine had to like do a job fair or do a job. Like, for example, EFS hiring bottle service girls. Bro, in 2019, that would have been unheard of.
They were handpicking their staff.
They would pick who they wanted to work. Like, they just hop on Instagram and say, you work at EFS now. Like, they never had to be like, hey, can we get some fucking bottle service girls in here? Like, but bro,
because look at what it does to the economy.
Bro, those same girls have been collecting CERB and then doing OnlyFans.
They're making way more. And hey, props to them.
100%. Let me tell you, they've definitely been doing OnlyFans.
Yo, you know about those, no? Come on, stop this. But there's definitely like a huge level of comfort that's
been encouraged.
Blanketed everyone everyone here, most of the people here.
And what's scary is like you're saying, like to reset people, like obviously in different parts of the States and whatnot, everyone kind of has a different way of thinking, but for sure in Toronto and Ontario, like people are used to this life.
Yeah.
People are okay with it. And like,
and they changed the whole education system, our whole social lives, and like everything within a year, and everyone let it happen.
They're okay with it. They're okay with it
because the fear.
Yeah.
And the fear is the main part. You eliminate the fear, you can't control people.
That's the news, right? And even like you said it too. Those guys you were talking to was really wealthy guys. They thought that the virus was man-made.
Yeah.
Oh, it just came out.
Well, that's man-made.
That's proven.
Exactly.
So now I'm looking at all these conspiracies from a year ago. They already came true now.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about the conspiracies now.
Agenda?
They had the email, right?
Everything's came true.
Well, that's what I want to know. At what point do people stop saying, okay, this isn't a conspiracy theory, because everything these fucking people have said for the last year have come true. That whole email that came out from the Liberal Party, I think there was like 20 things and maybe 2 of them didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's all right. So we're 18 out of 20.
Yeah.
But the COVID hotels happened. I never believed that would ever happen.
That was crazy.
I was very surprised that people just like didn't care that was happening.
$3,000 for 3 nights?
Yeah.
No problem, bro. Like,
for a 3-star hotel.
Or they just didn't travel. And that's the thing. So I think they instilled these things so people were just scared to travel.
I know, but bruv, there's people that are literally doing everything they can because they say they travel. They're getting vaccinated. They're doing all the stuff because I want to travel. Bro, these people don't even travel.
And you don't even need that to travel.
And you don't even need that to vaccinate.
I've been preaching that to everybody. Some people asking me questions. Oh, what'd you need? I'm like, yo,
how'd you get across and you're not vaccinated?
Bro, I hopped on a fucking plane and I left, bro. Yeah. Like people are like, I thought you needed a vaccine. I thought you needed this. I thought you needed that.
These people saying I got the vaccine because I need to travel.
Yeah.
Fam, you haven't traveled in 10 years.
Yeah.
Fam, you haven't traveled in 10 years and you're not going to travel for another 10.
Yeah. Or another thing is like,
and next 10, 20 years, no traveling.
The way I look at it is like, if I gave you something, right? And I said, put this in your body to go back to normal, right? And you take it. You shouldn't take it just to go back like if you're taking the vaccine, it should be because your immune system's compromised, or you're actually scared, or you're actually scared.
Yeah.
But to take it to go back to normal, y'all are that easy. Y'all are that easy.
So that's when I was looking around and I'm just like, okay, like a majority of people are doing this not even for the health side of things.
Yeah, they're just doing it to go back to normal.
Pressures, these different kind of pressures.
I'll openly say I disagree with that.
But then at that point, you have to look at them and say, well, do you even believe in the vaccine?
Exactly.
Right? So,
but now let's talk about the vaccine a little bit, because some interesting news came out in the CDC about 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
Everyone said, okay, if you're old,
I'll read the headline
if you're
here.
old, immunocompromised, or whatever, we'll talk first. If you're old or immunocompromised, blah, 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 whatever, okay, I understand. A lot of people our age, right, in our, early 20s, 30s, even 40s, who are very healthy people, no issues, whatever. Their whole thing was, well, I'm getting it not because I'm going to die if I got COVID, but because I want to stop the spread. Because that's what the news was telling you. The media was telling you, doesn't matter if you're young and healthy.
Do your part.
Do your part. Hashtag do your fucking part.
Yeah.
Get the vaccine to stop the spread.
Yeah.
3 days ago, the CDC comes out and says, with the new Delta variant, which is now what everyone's scared about, quote unquote scared about. The new whatever. Oh, whether you're unvaccinated or vaccinated, you spread it the same way.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I want to go back to those same people who said, I didn't get it to protect myself. I got it so that I can stop the spread. Guess what? Me and you are the same. Me and you are the same, except I'm not a lab rat, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not a part of the biggest human fucking health test in the world of history.
Yeah. And the mRNA. So the guy who created the mRNA vaccine came out on the news. I posted this on my story. And he said he doesn't recommend this.
Yeah.
Like
they banned him from YouTube.
They banned him
from
YouTube. And this is another thing. Like I have stories. There's a guy in Alberta that my friends was buddy with. He took the vaccine, died the same night in his sleep.
Jesus Christ.
There's another story that this girl's dad died of it, and they were suspicious of the vaccine. They tried getting an autopsy for the vaccine, and they would, and no original doctor would accept that. So they're actually trying to hide the side effect. Like, I'd be okay with the government marketing the vaccine the way they do if they, you know how when you buy a cigarette pack, it shows the dirty, with the teeth and the lungs. Yeah. It should be the same thing for the vaccine.
Yeah, but bro, the second that you sign a paper and you understand that you cannot fucking sue the company at all if you die.
That's
or
I think even with cigarettes, for example, everyone knows now how bad they are.
But they do it knowing. See, but people are doing it blindly here. So, so for example, let me put it like this. Let's say you're going skydiving with your friends, right? And they make you sign a paper that says if you die or you get injured, they're like, or if your parachute, they're not liable. They're liable as a company, if you're paying them and they're or if you're going in a car or an airplane or whatever, like if things happen like that company is liable, right? And they're gonna take care of your family or whatever cost that is. If they make you sign something that completely takes away everything, like their responsibility, that's scary, and you wouldn't do that. But for a vaccine, you will.
But then there's also the other side of that where you say, okay, no one's forcing you to go skydiving. No one's forcing you to take a flight, but we're being forced. And we're not being forced to say, oh, you can't step outside unless you're vaccinated, but oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, or even if they haven't necessarily put those mandates in yet, they're making it apparent that they want to do that.
Imagine if everybody said you were a selfish asshole because you wouldn't go skydiving. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then that's a big piece of this whole thing is the social credit. People also did it, and then it became trendy to post that you got vaccinated on Insta because you wanted the social credit.
This is the greatest marketing scheme I've seen in my life.
Ever. I wish I was behind it.
Crazy.
I wish I was behind it because this is fucking.
I wish I created the vaccine.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but I think at the end of the day, you have to look at the priorities of big pharma. Like they're controlling a lot here, right? And what they say is happening, right? Like right here, okay. Huge study supporting ivermectin. Okay, remember ivermectin, the one they talked about a year ago? It was supposed to heal COVID or cure COVID in a way. Very natural kind of substance that they already work with. Huge study supporting ivermectin as COVID treatment withdrawn over ethical concerns. Okay.
Wow.
So it says a substantial improvement and reduction in mortality rate in ivermectin treated groups that had COVID by 90%. But the problem is, I read something else that each dose is like 80 cents. Like it's nothing. Like they're not going to make no money off something like this, right? So it's like
so that what even happened with ivermectin and hydrochloroquine?
Health ministers of states, of provinces were coming out saying that this doesn't help.
What happened was with ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, I think it is.
Hydrochloroquine.
Countries that couldn't afford vaccines, like really like third world countries and shit, were using this to treat COVID patients, and it was working, bro, like really well. And then what happened was, good old America and all these bigger countries, Russia, this, that, come in and say, no, stop using that, stop using it, stop. We're going to give you the real vaccines
for free.
Yeah, exactly. AKA taxpayer dollars. We're now
start printing your money because you're going to need it.
Start printing the money because now we're paying for these third world countries who they already had their cure.
Yeah, man.
We're paying for them though because good old Pfizer needs their fucking trillions of dollars. And again, it comes down to I think there's a lot more beyond money at this point, but I think that if you can't even open your eyes to say, holy shit, there's something going on here from a money perspective. Like you're blind. You're blind, bro. You're lying to yourself. You're just lying to yourself, right?
One thing I have to put out there is that I'm not anti-vax. I've been vaccinated for everything else in my life. 100%. I grew up, I was vaccinated for everything, and that's why I'm a young, healthy individual. But like I said, looking at that's the thing. People look at everything micro. Everything's micro. If you look at the macro about this whole pandemic, if you look at every economy, what it's done to every economy, every government, the decisions these governments are moving, they're moving in unison. It's weird, right? They're moving in unison. If you look at it as a whole, and like I said, being on the back end of the pandemic, I know people that sell the vaccine to countries and they won't take it. I know people that are licensed distributors for the vaccine and said they won't take it, but they'll sell it to them.
Dude, I know a guy, his sister works for Johnson & Johnson. She's a licensed pharmacist. She works for Johnson & Johnson, okay? I won't say names, so I don't want to the guy out. Her job every day is to call people to convince them to take the vaccine.
No way.
She will not take the vaccine.
That's crazy, man.
Somebody who, and whatever. I understand that people, it's her job, right? So whether she believes in it or not, she needs her paycheck to live. I get that.
You gotta do what you
gotta do. But now it's like, you have people whose whole job is to convince you to take the fucking thing, and they don't even want to take it.
Yeah, what does that show you?
What does that show you, right? What does that show you?
And if you want to take the vaccine, take it, but wait and see before next thing you know, they're like, oh, you need a whole new vaccine for this new Delta variant, and now the Alpha one's coming out too next year, so it's gonna be like a fucking iPhone. There's gonna be a new iPhone every year. There's gonna be a new fucking variant. There's gonna be more and more and more. Soon we're gonna be walking vaccines.
Well, bro, it's funny. There used to be. I saw this meme. It was like parents in the early '90s. It was like these two parents telling their kids oh, go play with little Steven so you can get chicken pox.
Yeah.
And then gain the immunity to it. And then it was parents today or parents in 2021. It's hey, Steven, get ready for your 17th vaccine today, your weekly vaccine, stay away from everybody. And it's how did we lose that? The same people who were saying, yo, my kid got to go get chicken pox. They have to go get the disease so that they become immune to it, are now being yo, put your fucking mask on, stay away from me, I need a vaccine, and forget natural immunity to anything anymore. And again, here's my fucking point of all of this, and we've said it a million times, we all say it. I'm just pro-choice, bro.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want with your body.
I don't judge you if you get it, to be honest.
I don't.
My whole family's vaccinated, to put that even out there. My whole family's vaccinated, and I don't...
Same way.
Obviously, I poke my jokes at them, but at the end of the day, they were fine.
Their choice, though.
Yes, and they were fine, thankfully, and nothing has happened to them. So, I can't say anything bad about that side of things. But,
even the PCR test.
I just pulled it up, but the CDC,
that stuff is stupid.
The CDC just pulled the PCR tests.
Oh.
Yeah. So they came out and saying that it's producing too many false positives. Bruv.
I have a story of that.
So hold on. So the whole reason we got the emergency powers given to our government was because of the cases. The cases came from the PCR test. Now they're pulling the PCR test.
Yeah.
Now we will never know how many of those cases were real and how many were not.
Yep.
And they have all those powers now that they're trying to extend.
Yep.
And now they're not going to use the cases. That's why they brought it out now. They can say this now.
Genius.
Because now this doesn't matter. The Delta matters now. That's all that matters. And the unvaccinated people.
So now what this whole pandemic was based on just got removed, and no one was talking about it. And no one said anything.
Yeah.
How the fuck is the media not saying, holy shit, what our whole pandemic was based on?
3 guys on a podcast are, but the main news.
Well, because we're rocket scientists. And I always said, bro, who the fuck are we at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But it's common sense. And we've lost the common sense, bro.
Yes.
It's and I actually want to go back to what you were saying about the case numbers and shit. My argument to with the case number thing is I think it's horrible. Why don't we put the number of people that die every day from world hunger right next to it?
Yeah.
Or the number of people,
or
cancer, or diabetes, or suicide, or heart disease, or drug overdose. If we're gonna list COVID deaths, let's list everything.
Yeah.
And let the people decide and say, oh shit.
I think this is the epidemic.
I just saw actually in I think it was either Russell Brand or Ben Shapiro. Right now in the States, the same amount of deaths for COVID, I think the same amount of people are dying for diabetes.
Really?
So it's level. I think it was it was 250 a day, 200 a day.
I believe it.
And then heart disease is at 2,000 a day. And then obesity is something else, and then it goes up. Cancer is 1,500. So when you look at those numbers, you're like, okay, there's 300 million people here. Bro.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah. And actually, I just watched DeSantis, governor of Florida, who the guy's a fucking G. What a G, man.
People would hate me, but
no one's gonna hate, bro. Guy's a G. He's a G. Guy's a G. What it is.
Guy's a G. He came out. You were talking about it. I watched a 12-minute press conference he did. I just gave it to him. I watched a 12-minute press conference he did the other day, talking about how Florida never shut their schools down. They have the highest rates of the smartest kids and all their standardized testing, whatever, and how the kids were always overlooked in this pandemic. Them not getting the social interaction, them having to wear masks and whatnot, the effect that had on the kids. And he's that's why from the beginning we chose to never shut down schools, which Florida never did. They were one of the only few states that had kids going to school from start to finish. And now he's coming out and saying, listen, in terms of the mask, guess what? I'm going to leave it up to the parents to decide what they want to do. If they want their kid to wear a mask, wear the fucking mask. If they don't want to, boom. And also the staff is not required to. But
that's amazing.
But why is it so hard to realize let's make it about personal choice. No,
you know, all these liberals are like, you know, pro-choice. Like she's her body. You know, she wants to have an abortion. Have an abortion. Pro-choice, right? You want to have an abortion. Okay, what about the vaccines? Same shit,
bro. I said this on our other podcast.
They can't answer to that one because it's about health, bro.
Yeah. It's about you kill your grandma.
Yeah. No, thing is,
care about your mom. You care about your mom.
But as you said, the whole marketing side of it. That's what they market it as. So now
social pressure, it's genius.
I was about to say it actually has nothing to do with health. But now it's all about everyone wants that social credit.
You have a bunch of kids now who haven't been in school, haven't been socializing, think they're gonna fucking.
Bro, my little brother just graduated high school. Didn't even go to school.
I didn't even know you had a little brother, bro. That's crazy.
I mean, you got a good. Shout out to him. You know, he graduated with scholar. Like,
nice. I love that.
News, so, you know, but yeah, like he imagine grade 12. Like my grade 12 was crazy. Yeah. Dude, they did graduation through Zoom. He didn't get
I've been seeing those. It makes me so sad, man.
Yeah,
that's the human that they're taking out of it, like the soul out of us, right? The no funerals, like
you
that.
You can't hug your friends. Bro. For 3 months, and I regret that I didn't hug my mom or my grandma.
Yeah.
Bro,
it happens,
that's one thing I didn't stop. And bro, that's why like. When me and this guy started talking shit on social, we did it like, bro, 2 months into the pandemic. The hate was, bro, you're a fucking piece of shit. You're so fucking selfish. And now, what are they saying? Yeah. Those people are silent now to the stories because they're like, yo, shit, this kind of makes sense, but I got the vaccine, so I have to.
Just so everyone knows, we're going for another lockdown. Hope everyone knows.
And we're going back to Miami.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So
I said December. I said my lease till December because I know.
So we'll see you there. But bro, we're 100% going back to another lockdown, and it's funny we talk about it like, okay. Summer rolls around, people were going to go outside no matter what the government said. So
look at last summer.
So you know what they did? Same thing. You know what the government did? They go, okay, you know what? We're just going to make them think we gave them the freedom. So, yeah, guys,
and then they're going to blame it on Delta next. It's the same shit that Chris Guy said. Like, and I know a lot of people hate him. Listen. It's like Donald Trump. Like, I don't agree with the way he talks or the way he delivers. Yeah. But if you look at what he's saying,
his message,
right message, wrong guy.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. I'm sure exactly.
Right message, wrong guy, bro. Exactly. Right message, wrong guy.
And he literally predicted all of this.
So the man's been saying it since time. And then, bro, if you want to see what that guy's up to, by the way, he's on Twitter. He's not Twitter. He's on TikTok. That's the only social platform that hasn't taken him down.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go,
that's crazy. And that's Chinese owned.
I was gonna say China's
China's chilling.
They want him to go on. They want him to
go. Beat tease off of us.
They're chilling. China's chilling. They don't give a fuck.
TikTok's brainwashing a whole generation as we speak.
You're brainwashing me, fam. What are you saying?
Same.
No. Okay, listen. There's a little bit of a sensitive topic, okay? And I want to bring this up because I saw you post about it. I have some thoughts on it. We say what you want. If you want to keep something up or whatever. But I have to ask you because it's a conversation that I think more people should have.
Yes.
We don't even necessarily have to get into opinions on it, but more of that, like I just think it promotes conversation about sensitive things, which we need to do more.
Yes.
So you were posting about the gay culture and the transgender stuff.
Lil Nas X in
specific.
Yeah. I was talking about that situation specifically.
Okay. Talk about that.
Okay.
Talk about that. You don't have to go too deep into opinion, but just talk about that because it's the conversation that we should be having as people. 100%. Because a lot of people are having it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Be open about it.
We're all grown-ups. Yes. As long as we don't disrespect each other in the process, I believe in having a conversation.
There you go. Okay, sorry.
So, Lil Nas X, he's a great artist. Mm-hmm. His music is amazing.
Yep.
He's gay. I don't care.
Yep.
He's gay. I don't care. I don't judge anyone that's gay, trans, but all that stuff. I don't judge anyone. But I watched his last. So I watched those 3 things that triggered me, and on the third one is when I kind of posted. Yeah. So the first one was his second last video, I think, where he was like. He was like busting it down on like the devil, and like he was just like dancing in sexual ways, basically, and like he was like licking on the devil, and the devil's a guy. Keep you in mind, like in the video, and just like doing this, this that was fine. I was like, that just kind of made me feel uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
And then I saw him perform at the BET or one of those award shows, and at the end of his performance, he made out with the guy on stage. Okay, like a bit more aggravated. Okay, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I see the third one, so he just drops a video with Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
And he's in prison, and there's all these gay guys in prison with him, that are like, you know, twerking and stuff, and then there's this one specific scene where it's like 10 of them in a shower, butt naked, 10 guys, and they're dancing like strippers, like and like Lil Nas X is dancing, and that just like really made me, you know, uncomfortable. And so my whole point behind that is like, hey, you want to express your art. But when children are watching, like Lil Nas X, if you look at his demographic, it's children.
Yeah, of course.
Like, because of his first anyone who wants to argue this, because someone came to me when I posted, they're like, oh, well, he's not a kid's artist. I'm like, look at his demographic. And then you have a social responsibility, right? Just like how we have the social responsibility to get the vaccine, right? You have a social responsibility to what you put out. As a rapper, I don't put out, you know, rap killing people and stuff. I rap about good stuff because I know younger kids are listening, right? It's all about being a leader. And when you're spreading that type of content to a kid, like as a kid, imagine you were 8, 10 and you saw that. You'd be like, what? And you know, so I don't agree. I agree with everyone, you know, pro-choice, like we said. You want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But publicizing it to kids, in my opinion, isn't ethical, or you know, I don't support it. Like, I wouldn't want my kids, you know, learning about that stuff, because it's going to be a confused generation. You know, and I know people will have to say what they want to say about it. I just don't believe in marketing it to kids. Even in schools, like, they're teaching like gay sex to kids and stuff
from early now, in the States too.
And very early in the young, and you know, it's a very touchy
topic. It could get confusing.
It could get but like, imagine being a kid. It could get confusing. You know.
But I'm with you on that. I think, like, okay, in terms of the music video and that stuff, I think that even if you went and said like just the sexuality aspect of it, like even like Cardi B, for example. She has a massive fan base. I think it spans across every demographic. But like, you have a massive following of kids.
There's and you're talking girls about twerking, busting it down on TikTok, and they're
there
like,
you go,
12.
And you're talking about wet ass pussy. And there's 10-year-olds watching you, right? So
I don't cook, I don't clean.
Sure.
And then they canceled Dr. Seuss.
But you can, exactly. So to that perspective, I believe in that. And then I think when it comes to the whole school thing and teaching kids about certain things at a young age, where my stance on it is, and look, who knows, my opinion may change after thinking about it more and doing more research, having more conversations, which is what we need to do, but everyone's too sensitive. But where I think I personally stand on that situation is kids at a very young age, like we're talking like grade 1 to like grade 7, grade 8, let's say like elementary school in Canada, if you're listening and you're from Canada, I think like we got to stick to teaching them this like strictly science. Like strictly things that are fact-based that we know 100%. Not opinion-based or not feeling-based, because we don't necessarily have 100% science to back it up, since we love science nowadays. If we're going to teach kids things at a young age, it needs to be 100% factual. There can't be anything about feeling inside at the point. I think once a child gets to maybe 14, 15, 16, we're talking about high school, late high school.
Then you can teach it, sure.
Well, then I think
they have at least some identity.
They have identity, and I think that they'll have a better understanding of like, these are my feelings, and so maybe that makes me want to do this.
Kids are easily influenced.
Yeah, of course.
And so and then that's kind of where I stand with it. So I think that, like, again, I'm not against any group of people. I'm pro-choice. Do what you want, wear what you want, be with who you want, whatever. 100%. It doesn't fucking bother me. But like, I think when it comes to our children, we need to stick to teaching them things that are fucking strictly fact-based. That's it. And I think that there is a perfect age, and I don't know what it is. And we have to learn and have conversation. I think there's a perfect age to start introducing things that have more to do with feeling, identity, individuality. 100%. I think that there's a certain age for it, but it's not elementary school. No. I'll guarantee you that, because from JK to grade 8, like, who I was as a person changed 100 times.
The things that I thought. Listen, I'll tell you what. If I was exposed to the content that kids are now exposed to, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Of course,
100%,
much different, bro.
You know, 100%. Very different. And like, you know, and I guess that really bases on what you believe in right and wrong. You know, and that's all our personal beliefs. But in my version of how I want my kid with the content I want them to be exposed to different content other than the stuff that they're putting out there right now.
Which is every parent's choice.
Exactly. And that should be the parent's choice.
Yeah. There you go.
And like, for example, like I saw like an advertisement in like a train station, like, you know, the little mini billboard, and it was just like, it was like two guys like hooking up like naked, and like it was like a dating app. But like kids are walking by and seeing that, and it's just like, you know, yeah.
I know, but then the argument from the other side is going to be, well, we need to normalize that. You're homophobic. You're
but
this
it already is normal. How much normal do you guys want it to get?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Then it gets pushed too far, where it's like they're pushing it now instead of just
getting extreme. It's like you guys already. You proved your point.
Of course.
You guys are, everybody, you know, everyone accepts you, and like, this is the world. It's 2021.
Yeah,
but to go extreme. But you don't see us promoting to all these kids every single day about like straight sex you don't see straight flags.
Yeah. Well, you know what people,
I've never seen a straight flag before.
You know what people do? You know what people do, and then the media pushes that is, the media then goes and shows you one gay guy or one trans guy get beat up in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. They show you one every month, and then and then they spark that.
But that's the media special. They'll do that with everything. They show one of something, and then that's what's happening everywhere.
What people don't realize is, of course, there's hate towards everything. There's hate towards every race, every sexual orientation. There's hate towards everyone. There's hate towards white people, black people, Chinese, this, that. We can't eliminate it, but people got to wake up and say, "Fuck, okay, one guy, one trans guy, or one gay guy was beaten up in Baltimore, which is fucking wrong."
Yeah, disgusting.
Will I add? Disgusting. But let's
trying to push
now,
a narrative.
No. But now, pull the fucking telescope and zoom out and look at the whole country, and then start looking at the numbers compared to 300 million people, and let me know if it's really as bad as the media wants you to think it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And look, and then people will listen and say, well, you know, you're not a gay man or you're not a trans man, so you don't understand. And listen, I just want to go from the numbers. I want to look at the big picture, and I want to say, okay, is there bigger issues, you know, than what you think there are? Or are there different ways to tackle these issues than the way that we're choosing to? Because, again, for me, it's just, I look at it and I just see the media trying to divide us as people.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah, the media,
it's just information overload, and everyone's getting divided. They just label people.
Yeah.
So if you think a certain way, you just fall under a label right away.
And that's how they want it to be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a question going off this topic. Going off this topic. Let's say you're like a 19-year-old right now, and you're just like, yo, I want to become an entrepreneur. This is a fuck time right now in the world. Yeah. Government's giving me some free money though. Maybe I can make something work. What kind of advice do you have for someone trying to get out there as an entrepreneur right now in terms of making like different ways to make money or even save money? Like, do you have any tips for them?
Well, if I could give anyone advice, it would be to invest as early as possible. Yeah. Because there's a trial and tribulation period in investing where you're going to lose some money. Yeah. And the earlier you get over that hump, it's like riding your bike. You're going to fall the first couple of times. Yeah. But the earlier you understand financial literacy, you will be successful, and you will not grow rich, you will grow wealthy. Yeah. And the earlier you start, so with that money you're getting from the government, if you have no expenses, I would 100% suggest, you know, getting involved with crypto or stocks and start investing and start understanding investing, and you know, obviously believe in yourself. Make sure you write down your goals and figure out what you want in life. You know, when it comes to setting goals, I don't like to just set realistic goals. I just kill all limitations, whether it's money or any location, whatever, and just say, if I could have this, what would I have? And you know, after listing all those, I would then choose out the most 3 important to me that I would prioritize, which is where you find your why. Yeah. And after you find your why, you write those down, and then you write a paragraph after on how you're going to do it. And when you write that paragraph, you speak as if you already did it. Like, I made $10 million and I paid my mom's house off. Exactly. And you have to write how you did it, and then believe it, and you have to start reading your goals. Obviously, if you're locked up or cooped up inside of the house during lockdown or whatever your situation may be, start reading. Everything that how I've gone this far is from networking, building relationships, and knowledge, which is reading, right? And I wouldn't have gone this far if it wasn't for that. So those are the 3 things I could, you know, recommend to people that some younger, and always, you know, don't be scared to reach out to someone within your network that's doing what you do and that's doing better than you. Yeah. Because you can learn from them and build relationships and surround yourself with people that are better than you or on the same vibration as you, and create a team as early as possible and grow with that team as early as possible, and you guys will be able to succeed. Because if everyone's doing their own thing in your circle and everyone has their own hustle, their own dreams, but you guys move in unison and you guys operate at a certain vibration, good vibes, as they would say, you guys start attracting together and moving together through life and accomplishing things together. And that's what I did. It took me a couple of years to find my circle that I have now, but we don't have any ego. We don't have any, fights. We all respect each other and we all believe in each other and support each other. And when you have that, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it before, like the whole team thing.
Yeah.
I think that's important, right? And I know that like different guys from your fucking close circle, they're all kind of doing their own thing, but you guys still like piece each other in. You still like work with each other.
Everyone can help.
No, and I rate that because especially from a young age, well, it's the whole like you are,
who you surround yourself with.
Exactly. And I think that for sure, like you've done a good job of that.
Yeah.
Definitely like stepping out of your comfort zone, meeting these different people, right, in different countries, but really building like a solid circle. And so like, I think if you continue with that, and I think that's, you'll go far, which I think you're already going to do.
Thank you.
But for anybody listening or at a younger age, really look around you and see kind of who's around you, and if the people around you have the same vision and even beyond the same vision, have the work ethic or are working to create the work ethic that you need to get to that vision or hit that dream or that goal. Because we can sit in a circle and say, man, I want $1 billion. I can't wait to get a fucking Rolls Royce, the Phantom, whatever. But if we're not even taking like the smallest steps forward to try and figure out how we're going to do that, then you're just a dreamer. Like you're just someone who's there, right? You're not really making the move. So it's always important. The circle is important. So I actually want to talk about your circle a little bit. I know we were chatting about this before, but maybe show them some love because I know they're all kind of doing little different things.
So I got all my homies in Miami. So the guys that we became really close with, like Holiday and Casey and all those guys. So they run, they do trading type of stuff, like network marketing. They kill that stuff. And then obviously the people in our house in the Millionaire Orphanage, we have Junior. He helped start the brand. He does e-commerce. He came up off of e-commerce, bought a lot of crypto early in the game, and then just started trading. And we have this whole little like the Telegram group and the whole page and stuff. So we give signals and stuff and all that. He does music as well. He sounds like Drake. And then we have Giuliano. That's the man. Giuliano, everyone knows what he does. He does like the skits, and he's my business partner in the PPE. And then we also have Nano, which is his cousin. Nano does
Nano's Giuliano's cousin?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So Nano has a marketing agency, and they've grown immensely in the past year, immensely, and they've been killing it, especially out in LA. And then we have Theo. He's the new crazy guy. He definitely knows how to party. He's literally the Wolf of Wall Street. Think about the Wolf of Wall Street.
Love that guy.
That guy's
got energy, bro.
He's got energy, and he does business, and that's why I let him move in with us. Because at first I was like, this guy's a degenerate. What's this guy doing? Nuts. But then I realized, I saw him the next day after being a degenerate on the phone closing deals. I'm like, all right, this guy's sick. And then we grew close, and we lived together for a couple of months, and he became family. And then we have Sean. Sean works with Nano on the agency, and he's also a manager / DJ for my buddy Lavish. So everything's going well and moving in unison with everybody, and we're all going up. As a group.
It's cool because like you guys all kind of have your home base like Toronto, except the Miami guys, and then you got like you got your little squad out in Miami. You got part of the squad in LA doing their thing. So it's like what I mean. It's a good
divide
takeover,
and conquer, right? Divide and conquer, and like, and if I could recommend anything, especially I forgot to add to younger people, is get out of your home city. So wherever you grow up, as soon as you can afford it, move to the big city or just move out. Move out, because even me, when I moved out, it was a big change for me. Like everything from washing your dishes to doing your laundry to making your bed to paying rent to having to make a certain everything, and then just not having my old hometown friends. Like I feel like a lot of us get stuck up on our day ones, but some of our day ones aren't like if they're not on your same mindset, if they don't make you a better person, if they don't push you to do better, if they don't clap for you like as their own win. That's a big one. If they don't clap for you like their own win, cut them off. Because the moment you have those 4 things in your team and everybody's just like everybody's on the same type of vibration. No one's jealous or anything. Screw the day ones. Listen, stay true to the people that stay loyal to you now.
It's hard. It's so hard to understand that until you actually do it.
Yes.
And when you do it, like the energy when your friend group is like doing the same thing, that energy, it's like
different.
You can't even explain
There's wins everywhere. It's just coming in abundance.
But a big piece of it is like what you said is get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Go meet people who are thinking the same as you, but you have no idea who they are. Maybe just from an Insta, reach out. Like, get out of your comfort zone. On the other side of comfort is like the best life.
Growth.
Yeah, man. Growth. It's like the best life. And so like, I also agree with getting out of your city.
Yeah,
I
huge.
agree with that 100%. Even if you're not in a position to do it for 6-7 months like you, even if you can head out for a month and go see that like life is different elsewhere.
Yes.
People make money in different ways, different hustles, mindsets.
If we didn't know about the money that our boys in Miami were making, we would have never thought this was achievable. Before, to us, like making 2K, 3K a month was a lot. You're sick. And then we go to Miami and we see kids our age making $500,000 a month. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. I'm not shit. I need to surround myself with better people. You know, like one of my buddies, he hit 100 million this year. And like,
damn.
And like, and like, I'm sitting down with this guy, and like, I'm like really taking in like, this is my friend. Like, this is my buddy. He did that, and I'm sitting with him. Like, back in the day, I used to hang out with crackheads. You know, and then now I'm hanging out with a multi-millionaire sitting at my and we're friends, right? And it's like when that kicked in, it's like, you know, and that's the biggest thing. Like, you are who you surround yourself with.
But you know what? I can say something that I think I saw like this in you, and like even your friend group, like Andreas and all those guys. I feel like when you guys like came into the nightlife scene in Toronto, like you made a pretty big splash, and you sort of made it known that like we're here type of thing, right? And I feel like you guys, you know, whether apart or together, you've all gone to do.
That's why I
you guys came in strong. You guys came in strong, and I think that like set the tone for people, because like, bro, in the nightlife scene, there just wasn't. Like, you know, there's a lot of people involved, but like, you know, obviously the higher guy people were higher up and whatever. But you guys came in strong, bro.
Energy.
Yeah, you guys came in strong, and it was just like, yo, we're here, and it like almost like forced people to like be like, we have to take notice to this, just because of like how hard they're coming. So I'm not really surprised to see you guys again, whether together or apart, go on and still continue to grow. So I think it was very easy to see, and I think anybody who saw from the beginning is kind of like, you know, just nodding their head and saying, this kind of makes sense.
And like,
you know what I mean?
guys have known us literally from the beginning too, and like all those people from the nightlife scene, that whole industry, like they all, and honestly, like everybody, a lot of people from there are actually, you know, still maintaining even with the hit. But I feel like, you know, our kind of circle has really gone out of there. And growth, because at the end of the day, to all these kids that are like watching my stuff and say, oh, I want to be a promoter, it's a 2-year, 3-year maybe plan, and you exit. Don't
stay forever.
You get
caught up.
I was going to ask you, are you done with nightlife now?
Yes. I'll party for fun,
of course,
but now I'm focused on main events. So like, I want to throw festivals, I want to throw concerts, or like I still don't want to get out of entertainment. Of course, I'm an artist, right? So I still do, but I still want to, like, instead of events like at a club, I want to start doing, you know, big events where we have artists and stuff. But I still do have art clubs hitting me up, and hey, might as well, like, I might just put a team under and get people to start running it. I don't have to do anything, but you know, I'll never say no to money. But me personally, like doing nightlife and promoting, never again.
You know what I like, and I respect this about you. Like, you have no issue being like, yo, I'm an artist. Yo, I'm an entrepreneur. Yo, I sell PB, whatever. And we talk about this all the time, because people are nervous to be like, yo, I'm 3 things at once. It's like, you think you got to be this one thing and narrow in on it. So I like that we're talking about PB, investing, crypto. And you're like, yeah, but I'm an artist. And it's just like the way you're just like saying it, it's like, well, like, shit, okay.
We got one life. Be the most you could be. Obviously, don't, like, you know, obviously,
don't be 20 things.
Don't be 20.
But
you know,
be
like,
15, but you can't be 20.
You know, just the sky isn't the limit. Your mind is the limit. The only reason why I'm all these things is because I believed that I was meant to be more, and I ended up being these things by destiny. It wasn't like, oh, I want to sell medical supplies. I never in my life thought that. I wasn't like, you know, nightlife came to me, PPE came to me, because it's all about about attracting. And like the biggest thing that I credit a lot of the things that come to me is from attracting and being a good person and just having a good vibration. Because at the end of the day, if you really study, and people should look into this, if you study vibrations and manifestation and you know, when they split the atom, like how it was two places at once, and how everything in life, this table, us, our words, everything's a vibration. You will really unlock the secret to life. And that's that's my thing. I operate a certain way. I meditate. I try to eat clean. And once you eat clean and you think clean, you start attracting greatness. You know,
I'm curious, what are we used to, I mean, I know last time we spoke about this thing on the podcast, and even just like at our old office or whatever, talking about just like, you started making this big jump in the city. People start talking about you. You get your verification. You got the billboards, whatever. There was obviously a lot of haters being like, who does this guy think he is, whatever. Has that toned down for you? Has that picked up? Like, what has that been like?
I think people got used to it and just started supporting.
Yeah, nice.
You know, like for example, like I had this one guy, this fan on Instagram hit me up. He does like art, and he's like, "Hey, I love everything you do. I want to create a piece for you." Sure. Yeah. This guy creates a big ass, like my whole wall, just like of me, like this, with like this crazy, like all this stuff. All this crazy. It's a crazy painting. You know, like I have it in my washroom, and then I have another portrait of myself, like in my toilet. So it's like two big things. And like when people come over, they love it. Girls love it. Before people would be like, oh, he's so self-centered. Listen, people, it's not wrong to love yourself. Just don't be cocky. Be confident. Don't shit on people. I never shit on people ever. But would I put myself up on the fucking wall? Because I believe I am a goat. I believe I am one of the greatest, and I will be one day. So if you gotta put yourself up on the wall like you're great. You gotta put yourself up on the billboard like you're already making them hits, and the whole world knows you. Because that's how you manifest and become what you want to become. You gotta move the way you want to become. You know.
I agree.
100%.
No, I agree. That's fun.
Damn, bro.
I read it.
I'm trying to manifest right now, bro.
I'm trying to think, what do I need? What do we need? You know? Yo, call up the artist.
Trust me.
No, for sure, man. It's dude, it's inspiring. Honestly, it's inspiring. It's inspiring, man. And like, I just hope you keep it up, because
I'll never stop.
Yeah, I hope you keep it up, because I think a lot of people will continue to watch what you're doing and see where you're at and what you're up to, and take you know, and it kind of creates hope, I think, for a lot of people, or opens up their mind to realize that like life is more than what we're being shown. You know what I mean?
Life is what you make it. And once you look at life as a video game or a movie so this is how I look at life. Like I look at life as like one day I want to make a movie of my life. And I'm the director and the writer of my movie, and every decision I make, I have to be bold, because when I look back in history, in the history books, like if you look at the come up of Drake, you look at the come up of Jay-Z, if you believe yourself to be on their magnitude one day, you have to start thinking now that you're going to be like that. So every move you make is calculated. Everything you do is calculated, because you believe that one day you're going to move like this. For example, women, I don't sleep around like all these other guys. Like I don't have a bunch of different girls, and it's not a volume thing for me. It's a quality thing, because I know one day that I'm going to be someone very successful and known, and I don't want hundreds of girls running around saying they had this, but I move like that for that reason.
Man's already fucked himself.
You understand? But it's because I was wiped up most of my life, and I say, might as well. If you're gonna be a great, like imagine there's like 300 girls running around saying I had sex with Drake. That sucks. I lie though.
No. Listen, I read it. I agree with you.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's how you gotta move though. You gotta move like you're a goat to be a goat. You know,
big facts.
Like if you move like a little dweeb, you're gonna be a dweeb.
It's facts.
It's all about confidence, bro. To succeed, you have to be confident, especially in sales or anything where you're putting yourself out there. I realize they're going to hate you regardless, so don't give them more reason to hate. Always stay humble no matter how good you do, and just try, instead of like shitting on people, just try to inspire them. And I think that's what my whole approach is, like a rapper and stuff, what makes me different, because a lot of these rappers just shit on everyone.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. I want to see if maybe we'll like clip it in and compare it. Money buys happiness. We stopped asking this a couple times, but I'm going to bring it back, because it's a perfect time to bring it back. We're the Money Buys Happiness podcast. What do you think when you hear Money Buys Happiness?
I think what you said the first time.
Well, we're going to compare. I don't want to think just
transformation.
What do I think of
what do you think of the term when you hear the term? What do you think of the term? What do you think of the saying? I think it's
true.
Yeah?
I think it's true, because what money enables you, money buys options, right? It's like, instead of going to one door, I could go to 5 doors, right? Instead of going to one country, I could go anywhere. Instead of getting that one thing, I could buy everything. To me, I was blessed to have a good life. I was blessed to have a loving mother, and I was blessed to be healthy, and I didn't have to worry about anything else but a roof over my head.
Yeah.
So now all I have left is to focus on being great and focus on taking care of my mom. Because I didn't have to worry about food on the table. I didn't have to worry about clothes on my back. I didn't have to worry about bombs dropping on my head. I didn't have to worry about clean drinking water.
Yeah.
Right? So my mom supported me throughout my life to be in a position where I only could focus on greatness.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, I have everything else in life.
Yeah.
So money does buy happiness in my situation.
For sure.
But if you don't have all of that, or if you don't have family, or you're mentally depressed, money doesn't buy happiness in that scenario. Because I do know a lot of rich people that are sad. Yeah. So it all depends on your situation. But overly, I think money does buy happiness because it's about what you do with the money. Yeah, sure, $10 million in my account won't make me happy. It's what I do with that $10 million, the experience that I'll get, the lives that I will change, the people I take care of. That's what will buy me happiness, right?
It's a big fact.
You said you wanted to retire your mom too.
Yeah.
Like
so that's why I came back.
Tell everyone how old you are and tell them that's your goal.
So
you know what I mean?
I'm 22 and I'm trying to retire my mom by December.
It's crazy. So how did that come up? Like, what made you wanna do that? Like
the way, like for example, like I was living the way I was living. In Miami, I was like, hey, if I could afford to do this, I could afford to pay off my mom and retire her.
Of course,
right? And she just sold the house, so I'm helping her, invest her money, and I'm trying to like set her up for success, so that way, because she's like, Anthony, I don't want to retire, do nothing. I said, you don't have to retire. I said, as long as you have the choice to.
Of course.
Yeah. As long as you could just drop this job and go travel. You want to go to Mexico tomorrow?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
You want to go somewhere? Go.
Yeah, the freedom, right?
Yes. And because, like I said, time is the only real currency. And like, it is my duty to give my mom a good ROI, return on investment that she put into me as a child, as a headache, and as a dollar.
That's a good way to put it.
And her only currency left is time. She only all of our days are numbered, and every day she gets older. So if I have and I'm young, so even if I were, let's say, which won't happen, but let's say I were to give her every dollar that I ever made and every month for the next 5 years and ate shit for 5 years, and then she's set for the rest of her life, that would be worth it because I have the rest of my life to live.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So time is only currency. So that's why I'm in a position now where I could take care of my mom. It's achievable. Yeah. And my friends, even I know this one guy, he's a year younger than me, 21. Splash, my brother. He just bought his parents a $1.2 million house, and he's a year younger than me, and just retired them. That kid's a goat. He did it earlier than me. And I love him, and I'm happy for him. But like that's the type of shit, that's the type of energy I want around me. Like our parents brought us here, right? And I'm very close with my mom, so like why not take care of them if we're in the position to? So that's the main reason why I came back from Miami, because I was like, if I could do this, I can do this. So I made a promise to myself, I'm not moving back to the States until she's got retire,
whatever the situation is.
Exactly.
I think it's probably just because your name's Anthony, so I think that's probably the reason why you're go. You know what I'm saying? It's a big thing. I know.
So by the time we have you back on, she's gonna be retired.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I was gonna say we'll probably be seeing you in Miami. Pretty soon.
100%.
Pretty soon. So I think we'll have to reconnect there. We're trying to get Dean out so we can do some podcasts in Miami. You know what I mean? We'll have to come to the mansion and figure that out. Get the podcast set up. Talk some more stuff. 100%. 100%. But listen, man, it's been a fucking pleasure. We're going on a long weekend Monday. You came out to do the podcast. I appreciate that.
I've been looking forward to this.
I know. We've been going back and forth. Get me on. I'm like, we got you.
Yes, sir.
But no, it's been a fucking pleasure.
My brother.
We will 100% get you back. Who knows, 6 months, a year from now, who knows, maybe 3, who knows.
Buddy, we'll get you back. This should be like when I'm famous and shit, like people should come back to these. We'll do one every year.
They will.
Just see the glow every
That's what I'm saying.
We'll just, have like, a little Kane series, and like, that'll be, like when like all these big rappers started and they're on like that one podcast, and like
they're trying to figure out what they were saying.
The process, dude, this is going to be goated.
No, we'll get
you. This is still the golden podcast.
Yeah.
Money does buy happiness.
Let's go. That's my guy. That's my guy. Well, listen. With that being said, it's been a fucking pleasure.
My G's.
We'll have you back.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all subscribe, please.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click that like button either.
Click the like, subscribe, show some
put
love.
Comment, put a comment. Too if you want.
Yeah, talk shit, whatever. Just say something. You know what I mean? And again, thank you to everyone who rocks with us, who listens to our shit on the daily, even just supports the IG and whatever. That's real love.
Big reels
coming from this one for sure.
Oh yeah. IGTV too.
But yeah, man. With that being said, Dean.
I mean, I can't even top what we just said. The last hour and a half, how am I going to top that in the last 3 seconds?
We out?
We're out.